Hi traders, welcome to this video. So I posted no video in the last days because I was very busy with my video course. The sale started now in October and I got a lot of good feedback. So it's rated 5 stars and we are discussing a lot about the content in my video course, and I answer a lot of questions every day to help other people to learn how to trade growth stocks and momentum stocks. So if you are interested, there is a 10% discount code available on Twitter and also in my free newsletter, and I will show that also at the end of the video. But of course, I want to continue the work here on YouTube, and somebody on Twitter asked me to make a video about the tweet you can see here. So signs that you are emotional in trading, and I want to go with you through the 6 points here, and I hope that you will learn to be less emotional in your trading. So the first point is looking at the PL, so at the profits and losses all the time. That's something I avoid. So I don't look at my profits and losses from the single positions, so single trading positions, or from my account during the day. So because it is always something emotional when we talk about money. So you maybe think about what you could buy from the money, you can also think about what you lose in the real world when you see a 10,000 or 20,000 US dollar loss in your account. So money is always something emotional, and you really want to avoid that, looking at the PL all the time. And there are some very simple solutions to the problem. And the first one is remove the profit and losses from your screen. So a lot of broker apps and also web interfaces, broker software allows that. So you can say, okay, I don't want to see the profits and loss column in my portfolio, or you can also hide the overall profits and losses from your screen. I do that in my broker app, and I also do that in the brokerage software. And the second point, and that is something I personally like, and I do that, I don't use my broker software for charting and analysis, because I spend 95% of my time with research and with chart analysis and doing research about stocks, and I don't use my broker software for that, because on the one side, the broker software is, it's not that much what I need, and it's not so convenient. And on the other side, I don't want to see all the profits and losses all the time. So they are always going up and down because it is a real-time connection. And I personally only use the broker software for typing in orders and maybe checking my P&L at the end of the day. And I track all the profits and losses in a separate spreadsheet. And I update that the spreadsheet in the evening or in the morning on the next day. So that's all. I look at my P&L once a day. Of course, there are some days when I see, okay, maybe it's time to reduce my exposure, or the last day was very difficult and it was a strong down day and I have to maybe reduce my exposure. That is the situation when I look at my P&L during the day, but that is based on a strategy and my risk management strategy, and not to look at profits or losses during the day and be happy or not so happy based on the P&L. So I really avoid that, to look at the PL, and I want to execute my strategy, and that's much more important. I also base all my decisions on my strategy and the rules and the charts, and not at the P or L, so at profits or losses. I don't take profits when I see, okay, a stock position is up a couple of thousand US dollar in profits, or I have a loss of, say, 3,000 US dollar or something. I don't have any rules based on profits or losses. So I base my decisions on rules about the chart, or maybe a stock broke a certain price level, or it's below the moving average 21 or something. I have a lot of selling rules, but they are all based on price behavior and not on profits and losses. That is very important. The second point, chatting about big gains or losses in a stock. So you can see that on social media. A lot of people, they post their profits and losses, and nobody really know if it's real or not real. So, and they talk about that all the time. And every time you talk about profits and losses, they become emotional because people react emotional to that. So they say, oh, wow, you're up 10,000 US dollar in your account, or oh my God, you had a loss of 5,000, so don't take it so serious, or whatever, the broker is a problem, or whatever. So every time you talk about that, it becomes emotional because you attach emotional words to the money. And that is something which you really want to avoid. I don't talk about my trades on social media because I have so many followers and I have no idea if they can handle what I post on social media or not. When I talk trades on social media or a P&L or whatever, I don't want to get the reactions from them. So that's why I personally talk or write about my trades in my free newsletter and also in the video course, because I know that the people who follow me in my newsletter and also in the video course, they are serious about trading and they don't ask questions about P&L or whatever. They ask questions about strategies, tactics, risk management, money management, and sometimes about the stock. But they don't want to talk about profits or losses or something. That's really something I avoid. Instead, I post on social media tweets about strategies, tactics, about risk management, money management, stock selection, whatever. So something helpful for the people. So when somebody posts a profit of 10,000 US dollar, so that's not helpful. So maybe people look at it and say, okay, wow, that is reachable in trading, or that's something I could reach when I'm a successful trader, but that's not helpful. It's helpful to bring people on the right path and not talk about profits or losses. So I don't do that, and I also recommend to avoid that. The third point, discussion about the latest hypes. So there are always hypes in the market. So at the moment we have cryptocurrencies as a theme. Maybe some recent hypes are cannabis stocks or hydrogen stocks, solar stocks, whatever. There are always hypes about that. And people love that. And people love to chat and talk about hypes. And that's okay. I don't do that. So I follow my strategy. I don't follow fashions or hypes. So when a stock is not appearing in my screeners, I don't trade them. So I take only stocks from my screener and from my own research process. That's all. I don't take any stocks and trade them because some people are talking about them or because the stock belongs to a fashion or a hype. So, and I ignore them. So I ignore every hype until it meets my criteria. So, and when it meets my criteria, I start doing research. I look for the stocks, I look for the companies, I look that they meet my criteria, and then I trade them. And so and I totally ignore them when they do not meet my criteria. And I wrote down here a very important point. We don't want to talk or discuss, we want to make money. So I am not making money when I discuss or talk about stocks. I make money when I follow my strategy. And that is important. That is something you want to do. So, and you don't want to talk or discuss and maybe also influence other people with that. So instead, you want to execute your strategy, or you want to create your strategy when you have no strategy. But talking or discussing will not help you to become successful. Of course, if you are a beginner, you have to talk, you have to discuss, but make sure you discuss or talk about the right topics. Don't talk about profits or losses. Don't talk about trades or whatever. Talk about strategies, tactics, risk management, money management, stock selection, psychology, mindset, whatever. So ask people maybe for an opinion about a stock. So, but don't ask them if you should buy or sell a stock. No, you want something which helps you. So ask them, okay, what Do you think about the stock? Do they meet your criteria or something like that? So be interested in the process, not in the outcome. That is important. Overtrading. Overtrading is something, a lot of traders have to fight them or to fight with, and also myself. So I'm not immune against overtrading. But I personally made a few experience, and I created a lot of rules about them to avoid overtrading. And the first thing is make everything conscious. This is super important. So when you have no process, and always when you have a process, you make unconscious things conscious. So when you have a checklist for your trades, so you have to think about them. You have to check off all the criteria. In that situation, you make the process conscious, and you don't make any spontaneous trades, or you cannot make spontaneous trades if you have to fill out a checklist before. So, and that is the first thing. Make things conscious. Create statistics. Track your trades in a spreadsheet. And I wrote down here, track your trading frequency and hit rate over the last 10 trades in 3 months. So look at the statistic, look at the stats and how you are doing over the last 10 trades in 3 months. That is feedback for you. And if you see that you only have a hit rate of, say, 10% or 20%, then stop trading. Wait for a better situation. And the same thing, have limits. So have a limit, for example, only to buy a maximum of 2 or 3 trades per day. So do not buy 10 trades on a given day. So have limits. Have also limits for capital. So that helps you to overcome overtrading. Make the things conscious, track them, and have limits. That is important. And of course, and that is the most important thing to all the emotional mistakes, follow a strategy. If you have no strategy, you will always make spontaneous trades and you cannot repeat them. So, and when you have a clear strategy and a clear process, that will really help you to become less emotional in your trading and also avoid overtrading. So by the way, overtrading, when I speak about overtrading, I define overtrading as taking too many trades and too big trades. The fifth point, aggression against the market or broker. So many people look for blaming others, and that is something you really want to give up and overcome. So never blame anybody else except yourself. So you choose the broker. You created the contract with the broker. So you choose to select or trade a special market. You decided to buy a certain stock. So there's nobody else in the market who really is hunting your stop losses or whatever. Of course, there are strategies out there in the market which maybe creates liquidity, but they do not hunt your stop losses. They hunt for stop losses maybe in general or something. So, and when you start blaming other people, it is very difficult to take over responsibility. And as a trader, you are responsible for your results, for your outcomes, for your mistakes, for your successes. So, and if you take over responsibility, you can really start to change the process. Even if you take over the responsibility for your failures, you can start to analyze your failures and also start to change the processes. But if you always blame other people, other traders, the market, the broker, whatever, in that situation, you give them the responsibility, you give them the power, and it is very difficult to change that. So, and that is why you always wanted to take responsibility for all your actions and all your decisions. And I wrote down here a point: the market doesn't know what you do, and the market also doesn't know that you exist. So don't attach emotions to the market. That is also important. So when you think about the market, okay, the market hurted me or hurt me today, and the market is bad or something is good or whatever, you start to attach emotion and you start to attach words which are related to emotions to something like the market, the broker, or whatever. This is something you want to avoid. You don't want to give the market or the broker any emotional attachment. So they are tools which are there and nothing else. And you can use them and you can participate in the market or you cannot participate in the market. That's your choice. But the market and the broker, they are only existing and they do what they do. And it's your decision what you are doing with the market or with a broker. So, and avoid to attach any emotional words with a market or with a broker, because in that situation, they have a different influence on you, and it's very easy to give them the responsibility, and instead of taking over the responsibility for your own decisions and actions. The last point is a little bit funny, and I took that from I think he's Live Ride, so one of the US investing championship participants from the last year. And I wrote here, you tell your wife friends about your profits. So it's very similar to the second point, chatting about big gains or losses in the stock. So, and I personally know that from my own experience. So when I have very big profits or I have a good period in the market, of course you want to tell people about them. So because you're proud of that. So, and you're happy about that. But avoid that really. Avoid the urge to tell other people about that, because they do not understand that. They do not understand, okay, that is 10,000 profits good or bad, or 10,000 losses good or bad, or whatever. If you have a trustful person like a mentor, you can talk about them with her or with him. So, but do not involve people who have no knowledge about trading in your successes or failures. That is really, really difficult, because they do not understand the game. They do not understand the psychology of the game. And it's very difficult. And the most people are afraid of taking over risk and trading. So avoid that, because also when you talk about your successes and your failures in your trading career, you always attach emotions to that. So, and that is something you really want to avoid. So for you, it should not matter if you have a 10,000 profit or a 10,000 loss if you followed your strategy correctly. That really doesn't matter. You can be happy at the end of the year and make a party, or if you have a good period in the market, a good quarter or whatever, you can go for a nice dinner, or you can buy something which is really important for you or something. But avoid to talk about that every day or whatever. So, and this is because it becomes too emotional, and that will have an influence on you. So when you are up 10,000 and on the next day you are down 10,000, so you are really having an emotional roller coaster, and that is something you want to avoid. You want to have clear mind when you make trading decisions. So, and when you talk with your friends about them, or when you show them, okay, well, I made so much money and here's my new car or whatever, then the things become really emotional, because maybe you have 1 year or 1 month where you can buy a new car, and in the next month you have losses, and and nobody knows that, and you have to deal with it by yourself. So, and this is something you really want to avoid. I personally don't talk about them. I don't talk about with friends, family, even with my wife in the most situations. I don't talk about my trading. So I talk about them at the end of the year. So I sometimes talk about them when it's very difficult in the market, but then I only talk about my wife with that, and also with some traders I trust. But that's all. So I don't talk about with other people about my trading. I avoid everything to talk about them. So even if people ask me about stocks or if they talk about stocks, I don't say anything about them. Because I know from all the discussions with all the people, they have no knowledge about the stock market. And it's absolutely a waste of time to talk with them. Only if people are really interested in trading and they have some experience with that, then I start to talk with them. But until I see a first interest in trading, I don't talk about that. So I personally talk about strategies, tactics, and try to help other traders with that. So that's why I'm also producing this video here. And then that's what I personally like, and that's also what I think is helpful for other traders. But talking about profits or losses or whatever is really a waste of time, and it's very, very dangerous for other people because they are misguided and they have or they get a wrong impression about trading and what's really important in trading. Okay, so I personally hope that this video helped you to understand my thoughts and also what I meant with the tweet on Twitter. So you can get my free ebook when you subscribe to my free newsletter. So I send the newsletter out every Sunday with trading tips. You get access to the question and answer forum, and also post 3 stock ideas every week in my free newsletter. And I also have a video course. It started in October here. You get a 10% discount with a discount code newsletter10. And you can visit the landing page. You can buy it. It's very cheap. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down. If you have any questions or any feedback, you can write a comment. And of course, you can follow me on every social media network in the internet.